The following program contains shocking challenges to Republicans. If you suffer from blind party loyalty, this show might not be right for you. Check with the Tea Party leader.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. The man who creates social tension just by walking into the room, Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the program. We are going to look at Obama's speech. I'm telling you right now, it was one of the best speeches he has ever given. One of the best political speeches I've heard in modern memory. Did I like it? No, but it was a great speech. Today's program brought to you in part by demagogues, changing the course of world history one politically deceptive speech at a time. And by Dr. Pavlov. Hey, if it works for dogs, why not humans? That speech really rang my bell. I'm salivating for more of Obama's treats. I'll be right back after a quick word from who? Sir Reginald Blaine. Just turn the thing on, I got something to say. This here is to all you preachers and teachers and you pro-life leaders. Listen to me. Some of you people have gone off the deep end. You're becoming like fools. You say, well, abortion is here because it's the will of God. And it will stay here until God wants it to go away. What? Did you take stupid pills for breakfast for the last year of your life? Do you really believe that when the Lord said, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, that they're killing babies in heaven? Let me tell you something, homeboy. We are God's hands. We are God's feet. God tells us to take the battle to the enemy and to reprove the ruthless, to save the orphan and the widow. And if the orphan and the widow are in danger, it's because some of us ain't doing what we are supposed to be doing. So get off your lead hind end and get led into the battle. Welcome to the program, friend. Later on in today's episode, I'm going to do a little bit of gun training. Yes, live fire with a handgun. You're going to like it. Hope you can stay with me for the entire show. Grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Those make up what are commonly called the trivium. Now, that is a part of a classical education that is primarily long lost, certainly long lost in America's government schools, public schools. Some private schools are returning to it because it teaches somebody not just what to think. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. It's not a bunch of facts. It's about how to think, how to discern the premise or the foundation or the axiom of a discussion, and then how to build on that logically. Even if it's true logic on a false foundation, you can end up with a false conclusion. So you have to understand grammar, then logic, then rhetoric. Grammar being the ABCs of a thing, logic being able to string it together, and then rhetoric being able to communicate it to others and convince others. If you accept the ABCs of a thing, the foundation of a thing, you can be logical as you build, right? And you can come up with, well, tyranny. If you accept, for example, that the basic reason that government exists is for the redistribution of wealth, then from that premise, you can logically begin to implement policies politically, in government, in the law, that require the forcible transfer of wealth from the rich to the poor. Or if you accept fascism, that government exists so that big government and big business can work together to create worker drones where there's a strong middle class and we get a vacation once a year. Well, then you can come up with the Nazis or the fascists in Italy. It's all about the premise, then the logic. One of the reasons that I do this program is hopefully to instill in you, if nothing else, a desire to have a sound premise, a sound foundation. It is my unalterable belief, but beyond that, it is the truth with a capital T, that laws were given to us from our Maker, all right? They're transcendent. There's the lawmaker. His name is God. And you ain't him, and I ain't him. He makes the rules. Now, Let's bring that all the way around to Obama's speech. Obama's speech at the end of last week, and I mean this, was one of the best speeches, if not the best speech I've ever seen him give. Okay? He was on fire. He was more preacher than president. All right? He didn't sound like his normal egghead self. His cadences, his delivery, it was great. And he bounced off the Republicans when they tried to mock him and brought the point around to help him. This jobs creation bill, in my opinion, could be what helps him get reelected. As much as I despise this presidency, and I mean I despise it, you have to give the devil his due, and the devil's servant in the White House, you have to give them their due when they do something that's politically rather awesome. Now, the premise of his speech, okay, grammar, logic, rhetoric, the premise of his speech was flawed. It was silver and dross. Let me get to the essence of what he said. Basically, he said, the economy is coming unglued. We've got too many people unemployed, too many government regulations, and then he created a false paradigm. He said, well, some people think that the best thing we can do is let people keep more of their money and get rid of government regulations and everyone have at it. And then all the Republicans, of course, clap, falling into what he believed was their trap. He then turned around and said, but that's not the way we are. Yes, we've got a strong strain of rugged individualism in us. Yes, we're a can-do people, but there's always been this thread running amongst us that we do more as a nation. And then he went on to say, where would we be if President Lincoln hadn't paved the way for there to be a transcontinental railroad? Well, see, here's where the bait and switch began. If you look at the people who came to America in the early 1600s, all the way to the early 1900s, they were not coming here for the safety net. They were not coming here for free education and free medical care and unemployment benefits. So what he did in his speech is he said, we've got this decaying infrastructure. We need roads. We need airport terminals. Well, stop. That's true. And those are a legitimate part of the federal government's expenditures, all right? That falls under what is called in the Constitution the General Welfare Clause. General welfare means everyone has access to it. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, black or white, male or female. If they put a new bridge on Interstate 81 or Interstate 10, you can drive on it, okay? And so when they fix a bridge and they hire people to fix that bridge, it's a legitimate expenditure. It does create jobs for those people, hence it's a good thing. But then comes the bait and switch. We need to pump more money into government schools. Wait a minute, wait. That's not general welfare. We need to pump more money in research and development for the internet. We need to pump more money in for educating people so that they can have better jobs and be more on the cutting edge so that America can begin to be once again the manufacturing wonder and base of the world. No, stop. America became the best manufacturer in the world because of entrepreneurs, not because of the government. Not because the government spent your money to put somebody else in school. And so the genius of his speech was that it was true demagoguery. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I will follow on this theme. But you have to think about the speech and you have to ask yourself, what is the legitimate purpose of government? I'll be right back, and don't go away because we've got a fun spot coming up with some gun control. You're going to like that.
President Obama is the first case of polio since the widespread use of the Sabin and Salk vaccines. Infantile paralysis.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I've been making superb nutritional supplements for over 15 years, and from day one, I've partnered with Randall Terry, helping to fund his invaluable work in reclaiming our country's biblical and godly roots. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives since its inception.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 essential areas of nutrition your body needs on a daily basis. Each serving of the Total Living Drink provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, enzymes for better digestion and nutrient absorption, protein for building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat for fuel, probiotics for better intestinal function, herbs for building energy and stamina, antioxidants for maximum immune function and disease prevention, and all the vitamins and minerals you need for slowing down aging and maximum health. You would have to take 30 to 40 capsules each day and spend almost $10 a day to match the over 30,000 milligrams of total nutrition in each scoop of the Total Living Drink. Order right now and get started on the amazing Total Living Drink. They come in 2 delicious flavors, Total Living Drink Greens and Total Living Drink Berry. And every single dollar we receive, we give a generous amount to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Visit us online at the address on your screen and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today, and for the daily price of a latte, you can get back on the road to better health and energy with Kylea's Total Living Drink.
Moments with Moses. If you spurn my statutes, and your soul abhors my ordinances, so that you will not do all my commandments, but break my covenant, your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield its increase, and the trees of the land shall not yield their fruit.
Welcome back to the program, friend. In Obama's speech, he did the vintage bait and switch. And in my opinion, it was absolute demagoguery because he started off talking about the greatness of America, how we became the manufacturing wonder of the world, and then he slipped right into class warfare and even said, hey, this isn't class warfare, which drew laughs from the Republicans because it was vintage class warfare. But let me show you in my opinion, the high point of his bait and switch. I'm going to quote to you from his speech after he talked, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for moving around, after he talked about the entrepreneurialism that is in America and our history as a people of making it our own way. He then jumped to hardcore socialism and the welfare state. And I quote, "How many jobs would it have cost us if past Congresses decided to not support the basic research that led to the internet and the computer chip? What kind of country would this be if this chamber had voted down Social Security or Medicare just because it violated some rigid idea about what government could or could not do? How many Americans would have suffered as a result?" Friends, that is bait and switch. You see, any development in the internet or in microchips, that happened as a result of a military application, okay? That is a valid form of government and sometimes some communications between departments, all right? It's valid for the government to say, how do we make a better weapon? How do we communicate in-house better? If they stumble on it first, which they usually don't, if they stumble on it first and then they make it available to the rest of the public, well, that's as it should be. We paid for it, okay? But then for him to switch from that and to talk about Social Security or Medicare, those are hardcore socialistic welfare statist programs. That is the redistribution of wealth, the generational redistribution of wealth, and as far as Social Security is concerned, it's a veritable Ponzi scheme. This is why it is so critical that we have grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Most of us, please hear me, all right? Most of us learn rhetoric first. And that is our danger. We learn how to run our mouths. We learn how to parrot phrases that we heard said. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. And we fail to understand the premise of the rhetoric that we're espousing. Now, the difference between a road, okay, where everyone can travel on it, and the road of the internet is that anyone can use a road anytime they want, end of story. But when you start talking about paying for everyone in the country to have a computer, well, where does this end? I mean, think about it. We're already at a place now where we're saying we're going to have government housing if we need it, government food if we need it, the government will pay for your education if you need it, the government will pay for your health care if you need it, the government will give you insurance so that if you're unemployed, you get money there if you need it. You need a car? We'll give you $4,000 for your clunker. You need help with your mortgage? Well, that was in his speech too, that we're going to find a way to get all these middle-class people some more government money so they can have a lower interest rate. You see, what's going on is, number one, class warfare is working. But beyond that, it's very insidious. Obama is deliberately setting out to get all of us to be nursing at the federal milk supply. Okay? Because once you are accustomed to taking your neighbor's money for whatever it is that you want or need, once you're used to putting your hand in your neighbor's pocket, well then, it's only a matter of degrees. And then you become much more susceptible to the beating of that drum about the wealthy need to pay their fair share. And these people who drive a jet have more tax loopholes than their secretaries. Well, you know what? Hey, listen, get rid of the loopholes. I'm all for that. Should we be giving welfare to AIG or to Chase Bank or to Mobil Oil? No. But the inverse is also true. We do not want to say to them, you've got a lot of money and I want a college education for my kid, so you should give me your money so my kid can go to college. Friend, that is covetousness, it is greed, and it is theft. Okay? When you compel a man to work for you and you take his money, all right, that is a form of slavery, and slavery is a form of theft. That's why I encourage people, don't take anything from the government. Nothing. You're hungry? Don't take food stamps. You have a little baby? Don't take WIC. You got a junker sitting in the front yard? Don't take cash for clunkers. You having trouble with your mortgage? Don't take government money for your mortgage. Be a person of principle. Understand the premise of the thing. God gave you the right to life, to liberty, and to property. He did not give us the right to freely take our neighbor's property and to make it ours. No matter how many people vote for it, no matter how much of a majority we might have, 50 of us have voted to take your money so that we can all have a car. It's still tyranny. It's just the tyranny of the majority. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, a fun bit on gun control and on how to fire a handgun. And by the way, if you're a redneck like me, you're going to like this.
Don't beat me no more, Mr. President. Don't beat my body no more, Mr. President. I'll obey you.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
There are 2 places where socialism will work. In heaven, where it is not needed, and in hell, where they already have it. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. My goal is to get you to live on the edge of mediocrity. I'm joking. My wife said to me, here, take my phone. I do not have a pink iPhone, okay? This is my wife's phone. She's here off camera. She was with me when we were listening to the speech. This bill will, the Obama speech, hire teachers, build schools, hire construction workers, heal the sick, raise the dead. No, that wasn't in there. It will, through Medicaid taxes, it will impoverish the wealthy because they just won't pay their fair share. It'll ensure that taxes will not go up on the middle class. It'll make tax breaks for small business owners. It'll help build and innovate and educate, what does that say? Every nation on the earth, with us being first. Then, unite politicians and business leaders. Make trade people around the country play by the rules. Protect us all from harm. And I think most importantly, protect our children from mercury. Who put that in the speech? In other words, bait and switch again. Biblically, according to Judeo-Christian law, you do have the right to legislate whether or not someone's neighbor's well is being poisoned, okay? So yes, we can say we're not going to have mercury in things because in paint, we're not going to let our children be poisoned. That's not the same as saying that we're going to pay for your child's bedroom to be painted, okay? And that's the difference, friends. All right, thank you, Andrea. Thank you, darling, for that precious iPhone. You too can have your own pink iPhone if you go to apple.com. All right, now, let's take off our fancy coats. Let's go do some shooting. I mean, live bullets, baby. Check it out. And now we're going to train a young woman how to use this firearm to protect herself and be pro-family. Now, my shooting, as you'll see, was quite accurate because I'm a trained professional on a closed course. Quayle is new to this, and she may not do as well, but trust me, before long, she'll be hitting the center of the target every time. Quayle, are you ready?
Yes.
Yep. Pull it back all the way. It requires way less pressure. There were people that were challenging my consistency, so we put up 2 targets. Here's the happy face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's the sad face. 1, 2, 3. Now, what you'll notice is that Quayle started a little weak, maybe some abdomen shots. That's hers. That's hers. That's hers. Then she started to get into the lethal range right here. And then a dead shot. Quayle, congratulations. You're officially pro-family. Somebody who wants to harm your family? Yeah, big time. This is gun control. So here's what I'm saying. You need someone to teach you how to shoot a gun? You come on up here, we'll help you. And you know what else I'm saying? All kidding aside, you need to know how to use a firearm. And for those of you who think, well, it's just rednecks to shoot guns. No, no, no. You need to know that there are articulate, dare I say handsome, well-dressed, college-educated people who take the ownership of firearms and the ability to use them properly in deadly earnest. God, gold, guns, and groceries. That's what freedom sounds like. I'll be right back with a quote from one of those radicals, our founding fathers.
How long, O Lord, wilt thou look on? Rescue me from their ravages, my life from the lions. Amen.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
John Adams said, "We have no government armed with power capable of contending with human passions unbridled by morality and religion. Avarice, ambition, revenge, or gallantry would break the strongest cords of our Constitution as a whale goes through a net. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Friend, do you see what's happening? We've abandoned religion, that's Christianity, and morality, and we're actually asking the government to help us with our avarice, with our greed, help us with class warfare. And we are collapsing the Constitution before our eyes. And what will happen? We will not soon be a free people.